What's up, you guys? It's your boy Caleb Rashad back in the building. Imagine if I opened every episode like that.
I was like making the Cardi cringe face. Like,
imagine.
But you were giving very much influencer. Yeah, like you were giving TikTok.
I was so impressed.
You were giving like 17-year-old TikToker.
Yeah.
Like, hey y'all, it's your girl.
I mean, that's my generation. So
you just graduated.
But no.
But can I be honest? As soon as I hear that, I swipe. Like, hey y'all, like, it's your girl back in the building. Swipe.
It's like,
shut up.
But anyway, welcome back to Mind Control.
Welcome back to Mind Control, y'all.
Welcome.
We got Coach Nita in the building.
Hey.
We got Nesha Mishle.
Oh, I like the way you say it.
Period.
Mishle.
I like that name.
Is that a country
I
thing?
love it.
Shout out to moms for the fire middle name.
Today's topic is Juneteenth. We're going to be talking about Juneteenth.
All right. What we got?
We also going to be talking about Black music
history.
Caleb, you are a Black musician.
I am a Black musician, a Black artist, up and coming R&B artist.
2 snaps for him.
You know, check me out, you know. Shameless plug.
That is true, though.
Apple
Shameless
Music, Spotify,
plug,
you know what I'm saying?
Plugs.
Rashad. RASHOD, period. But no, yeah, Juneteenth, let's get into it. Do we have like
yes, I have it pulled up. So Juneteenth is a holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. It is also called Emancipation Day or Independence Day. No, it's not.
Is it?
No, it's not.
But is it labeled? Is it a national holiday? A national holiday?
Not yet, like officially. I feel like there's like a slow.
Problem.
I feel like there's like a slow trickle because some states will deem it a national holiday, but others. So it's like one of those things.
Not like an official.
It's like daylight savings time. It wasn't like It took a while for it to be like universally recognized.
Well, on my calendar, Juneteenth is a national holiday.
Well, I mean, once Juneteenth started to become more, I guess, prevalent, I guess is the word I should use. Because,
growing up, I didn't really know much about Juneteenth.
I didn't either. I didn't know a lot about Juneteenth, but like.
They don't teach it in school. Ugh.
Right.
Clock
but
that
it
tea.
did.
Clock that too.
Well, speaking of that, that's why, certain, and this is just like certain holidays in general, just based on their origins.
Yeah.
Now I have a hard time celebrating. I don't even call myself celebrating certain holidays, such as the actual Independence Day, the 4th of July. Also, Thanksgiving, like just the origin of certain holidays, it gives me like internal struggle. Like this ain't my holiday.
Child, the Christians love Thanksgiving. Give thanks to God.
Here's the thing about Thanksgiving. I just feel like there needs to be like a shift, like across the board, in how we acknowledge and honor the fallen.
The whole,
genocide.
Like
Genocide.
I also
raping and pillaging.
Everybody eating food, turkey and shit.
But it's one of those holidays too that a lot of education hasn't really been centered around.
Exactly.
No, at least not the truth about it.
Yeah.
The truth about it, or just the history behind it. Give us a little bit of history on Juneteenth.
I think a lot of people don't know that Independence Day, like when the 4th of July happened, it did not necessarily transfer over to Black men and women who were enslaved until a couple years later. Like a lot of people, there were Black people who didn't even know about Independence Day, like didn't know that the Declaration of Independence had been signed and stuff like that. So it took a while for that information to get to Black people anyway, number one. Number two, again, this was the official emancipation of slavery was June 19th. So that's why that commemorates Juneteenth, which is almost like Black Independence Day, because we weren't technically free on paper until this time. So it's like, it's very conflicting. It feels like, 4th of July is not my Independence Day.
And honestly, I didn't really start seeing people like celebrate Juneteenth until like a couple years.
Like around the pandemic.
But you do have to pay homage to social media.
Yeah,
Because
especially
I
like with
believe-
marketing and stuff like that. I started
Right.
seeing a lot of, red, black, and green everywhere.
You start to see it more too, like in stores, right? You start to see it in
Yeah.
certain like department stores and commercials. But I just think this is really not a time to either beat yourself up if you didn't know, or to overly beat on your chest if you already knew. Because I think it's important to go back and to educate.
It doesn't hurt to educate yourself,
It doesn't,
Never.
or to help educate other people, even if they're of different culture. Because there's certain cultures who are considered what they call allies, right? That would like to learn more about it. Some people don't know the difference between like a 4th of July and a Juneteenth. I remember, Amanda, maybe you can remember, shout out to, what's the park down the street in Pomona used to have the concerts all the time? Ganesha. We just went because they had like barbecue and stuff, but we didn't really know no better. And I can tell you right now, growing up, we used to make a mockery out of it because we didn't really know the education behind it. But as I became an adult, you do your research and you go, oh, Juneteenth is really a thing. I thought it was just, you know how we could be. That's my cousin. I thought it was just us making up
something we
something.
do.
Well, I'm reading it right now. It says that the first official Juneteenth celebrations were held on June 19th, 1866.
Yeah.
Juneteenth started in Galveston and Houston, which is in Texas, and quickly spread throughout the West. The Juneteenth festivities have been held on June 19th ever since.
Speaking of Texas, what a good segue.
Tell us.
Houston, Texas. Queen Bee, it is also
It ain't Texas.
Black Music Month.
Right. It is Black Music Month, and we
Beyonce
just have to talk about the waves that
Is my girl.
Miss Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter is making with this officially historic Cowboy Carter album.
Come on. Breaking
so-
down barriers. Like,
Right, definitely.
For Black country music artists. Like,
So, and it all started with a little performance at the CMAs in 2016. So, Beyonce was occupying a space that we primarily know to be white. As far as like, American history, we have gone on thinking that country music is associated with white people for a very long time. But Beyonce did her big one, put us up on game, gave us a history lesson in an album.
Educated us
Because there was a lot. Yeah, there was a lot that I did not know as far as like African American history in regards to the origins of country music.
And the term cowboy, like, she posted something.
Well, so the album being named Cowboy Carter, the Carter family, a white family from back in the day, they were considered the family of country music, like the country music originators. They were called the Carter family. That was their name. So it's just funny. I just feel like that's a gift, like straight from God. Like here you go. Like, cause her name is actually Carter. So it's like the reclamation of like our history through the art of music. And this is Black History Month. It's just like chef's kiss. Like, so I've learned a lot, and I've always knew that. I've always known, cause as Coach is always saying, like, I am very, like, I heavily research music. I love music. I'm very much a music head.
Everything.
So just to be able to learn, like, even more, like, just to get my feet wet and learn even more about, like, my history as it pertains to a genre that is not heavily associated with Black people at all, even though we are technically the originators of it. That's just a special gift.
Yeah, she's, like, creating history. Wow.
While like teaching us about history. Like
Even
making
earlier
history
when you
and
guys
teaching
were
us about
telling
history.
us about the different genres and the different artists of music who have broke thresholds. You guys are mentioning all these different artists. I think about even down to rhythm and blues. I think about from jazz. I think about all of these different rock. Right. All these different people who have made it into like the Rock Hall of Fame and all these artists that you would have never thought of that have done it. Y'all missed choir rehearsal earlier, but I can sing, so I was leading them.
Here we go.
Into a little worship. But I think I'm just proud just to see not only for the music aspect of it, but just the people who produce the music. Because sometimes we only see the artist. We don't see the behind the scenes skill set when it comes to paying homage to black music
Yeah,
or to that. It's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
I love that
a
we're
lot
in
of
an
secret
age.
writers. Too.
Yeah, I love that we're in an age where like DJs are being recognized, producers. I love that producers have their little taglines in their songs. Like I love that Mustard on the Beat and Take Keith, fuck these niggas up, and you know I love all of that.
I know.
Yeah, that is that's a Drizzy reference because that was definitely Drake. We're not gonna. We already wrapped up the rap beef conversation. But speaking of
that one.
Speaking of R&B, can we bring our 90s R&B back? Can we bring back like niggas grabbing the air and crying like
crying in the rain? Like
I can say even if you
feel the pain,
even if you weren't born in that era and you just love music, I think as an artist, if you're watching this, if you're listening, that's where you go back and you study the music.
Yes.
Like how they would tell 90s music to go back and study 60s and 70s.
Yes.
I think you learn the more seasoned the meat is.
That's how you learn.
That's
to
how you
perform.
learn.
a lot of
People
that
are
and a
not
lot of that
performing
is like
anymore.
regurgitating today, like whether it be just like a straight sample of a song or a cover, you know, from back in the day. I feel like
Give
a
us
lot
some
of
artists from the 90s. Give us two that you would rock with to this day.
to this day
To this day.
from the 90s
From the 90s that I still listen
to
I
to
was
this
in-
day.
I was
Beyonce.
born at like the dead ass end of the 90s. So like I was born in 98. So
Right,
There's only so
right.
much.
I was like, if you was
there's
gonna
only
say,
so much I remember.
My bad, y'all.
Tony Braxton, we was
Tony
just,
Braxton, we
Yeah.
were just playing her. I like Tevin Campbell.
but we don't. I mean, Rockwood to this day is like hard to
I
say.
would go 112. I'm going.
So when you say
112
Rockwood to this day, are
profile.
you saying like we still listen, like we'll still listen to their music today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Usher
for sure.
D'Angelo.
Yeah.
D'Angelo. He don't have
Yeah.
You
to.
don't have to.
It's just when we say
One
Rockwood
that's
to this day,
incarcerated that
we're
we
basically
can't pay
just saying
homage
like
to,
music
but-
that we still play today. Like if it's from the 90s and you still listen to it to this day, like obviously I feel like Boyz II Men.
yeah.
I still-
Y'all hear Maisha back there?
SWV.
SWV.
Yeah, 112 for
Escape.
sure.
Escape.
Escape.
In Vogue.
I think
I
so.
loved me some In Vogue. I loved
My
me a
mama
good
did
girl
too.
group. The
I
harmonies.
also just think
Michael.
that's 80s and 90s.
That's
But
it.
I
That's
also
every
just think that it,
generation.
as we pay homage to
Jodeci.
Jodeci, but as it pays homage to, as us talking about Juneteenth, and we're talking about
Shout out to
music.
Babyface.
True.
Babyface.
It
The
just
producer of the 90s to
it talks
to me.
it talks a lot about the importance of us opening up the doors for the next
Yeah.
generations, and I think that's what Juneteenth is all about. Is we can go back and we pay homage to the past, but I also think the past opens up doors for the future. Like how you were saying, Coach, I'm barely born in 98. We could probably open up doors for you that you could probably open up for us. And I think that's the beauty of Juneteenth is just really celebrating us as a culture and doing it, but also having that education to be able to teach other people who may not be of the Black culture. Really, what is Juneteenth?
You have to know where you come from in order to know where you're going.
Two snaps.
That was free.
Oh,
Come
see, I
on.
told you she'd be knowing all the movies.
Was that from Sister Act? Which
Sister
one?
Act.
The first or second? Oh, if you wanna be somebody,
There go the
if you
choir.
wanna go somewhere, you better wake up, pay attention.
I taught them everything that they knew.
Yeah.
Well,
Couldn't
while we
find it.
doing choir rehearsals, give us a Juneteenth or a Black music takeaway or a homage.
Also,
It's a
shout
takeaway.
out to Shabuzi.
Wait,
Yes.
He's
Okay, back to the
not what.
so back to
thinking
the
Shibuya.
country
Shibuya.
conversation. Yes, I just
Shabuzi
love
is
the
a
rise of Black country
male
artists.
Country artists.
Just Black country artists in general, but Shabuzi's Rocket in particular. I
Yeah.
think that he had like a right place, right time moment because he was on Beyonce's record, the most like historic and iconic record of 2024, in my personal opinion.
Yes.
And then shortly after that, he has, a
Number
hit
one.
single, a number one single with Bar Song Tipsy. And now he just had an album that came out. So let's,
I guess I gotta go do
album
my
went
own
one.
homework.
It did. Okay,
On the
good.
country
Good
records.
for him.
It went number one.
No, good for him.
I was
It's
like,
just,
wow.
and I love that. Like, I went on Spotify and there was like a hot country playlist and his face was on it. So I just love like looking up country shit and seeing black people now.
Too, I also don't. Yes, Beyonce, we can contribute a lot of that to Beyonce. Because do you feel like if he didn't, work with Beyonce, he would have gotten that number one?
But
Well,
that-
I mean,
that-
but that
also
goes into
back to open up the door.
right.
Yeah.
That goes into like their
And I'm
listening,
not
their
to downplay,
streaming.
like his,
No,
artistry,
but I
like,
mean that's part of it because that was
Yeah.
part of the problem is that like there wasn't a light shined on
Right.
a lot of black country artists, even though they are there. They're very much there. They've always been there, but their presence is suppressed because it's such an overwhelmingly white,
Right.
considered a white genre. So for this to be happening, like, their numbers, their streaming numbers, all of those, every black country artist that participated in Cowboy Carter, their streaming numbers has seen a huge rise.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's the whole point. It's like if you do have that type of power and influence, we would rather you use it for good and to like, to service the underdogs versus like just, becoming a monster of capitalism and just because she could have went a different direction and worked with probably anybody. She did. She worked with some legends, but I just love that she kind of like threw the rope back and gave voice to people whose, light wasn't shining as bright because it's being suppressed by.
So give us your takeaway on that.
So my Juneteenth Black Music History Month takeaway, like I said before, you have to know where you've been to know where you're going. I think it's important to honor your past. I think that a lot of young people today have a tendency to kind of like disregard the history and like I feel like there's this attitude of like that's that was that was
has nothing to do
so
with me.
old and that was back then, like that doesn't have anything to do with now, but it has everything to do with now. So I would encourage like all of the babies, know your history, do your history, because to know your history is to know yourself, and it only makes you better in the long run. So
Good job. What about you?
All my takeaway.
I thought you went already. Oh no, you started talking about
I
Shabuzi.
started talking about Shabuzi. He's actually kind of fine, but
Yeah, he is the handsome chocolate man.
my
What a
takeaway.
beautiful chocolate man.
I think I am gonna kind of piggyback off Anisha with me, that being my generation that you were talking about.
Yes.
To do my research and educate myself. Because that's what,
Because I be putting you on,
yeah.
but you be putting me on too. So I feel like the generations
it's
learn
about.
Yeah.
from.
Intergenerational.
So yeah, that's my takeaway.
My takeaway would be take a moment and just have a music day. Just have a music day where you just
Music
play
is so healing.
It's
It really
that,
is.
you know,
It's
that's,
very
you know, my mental health
It's
behind. That's
therapeutic.
exactly where I was.
I got
There's
a
some, history. I mean, some therapy. Testing.
Music therapy.
I got a
music,
Reiki
yeah.
reading. I got a Reiki reading before.
What's that?
It's a long story. We'll talk about it
Okay.
off the mic. But yes, I got a Reiki reading, and like yes, she told me that that music is like super
It's
healing
healing.
for me.
So I was gonna say, take a minute. Are we flying? Take a minute just to have music. Just do something, no matter what the genre is. It's just to have that open moment to where you just utilize the music as a coping mechanism and as a replacement coping skill. And that music to me symbolizes emotions. Didn't know that was on. Symbolizes emotions. I think when you're angry, you listen to a different genre than you do when you are missing the bay or whatever it is. I would also just want to advocate for those who are just more curious about MC, what is Juneteenth? Just to take that time to educate yourself. You don't have to become an ally. You don't have to wear all the African colors and everything
You don't
like
have to
that.
It's
be a
probably better
cheerleader.
that you don't
Yeah.
as a
It's just
non-black.
We're not
Just-
asking you to be a cheerleader.
Yeah, but it's just to pay homage of really what it is. And then for us as a culture is to go back and do some research as to really what is Juneteenth. Is it bigger than just somebody giving a little park picnic and we trying to go there for the free barbecue? Amen to me and Amanda.
Okay.
But
Have my plate ready.
I appreciated this episode because June is a very impactful month. We have Pride, we have Juneteenth, we have Father's Day, we have men's mental health. Yeah. And I think all of these multifaceted things play a role in us and in our culture. Yeah. Again, I am Coach Nita, but I can't even take it away because baby boy over here opened it. So you close it.
It's your boy Caleb Rashad. I'm sorry, I completely dropped the ball on that.
It's okay.
I mean, what?
Just say bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.